All the law of assumption students who've been trying to consciously create and have been dabbling with different desires, and some of them must have manifested, some of them are giving you a tough time. And if you think that, one of the biggest impediments to your embodiment of your new identity or the desired state are those negative thoughts, and you've been searching online or trying to understand how do I get rid of these negative thoughts, while you also hear that, you just have to assume in law of assumption, right? So you just have to assume your new identity. And once you assume your new identity, it's going to harden into reality, your physical reality. And have you ever wondered, so what is the difference between this negative thought, which is also a thought, versus assumption, which also feels like a thought? If you've had this question, I'm going to answer this very basic but very, very important question right here. But before that, hi, I'm Nidhi. I'm a law of assumption and mindset coach, and we talk all things conscious creation on this channel. So if you're new here, do shower some love, send me some comments, and let me know if you're vibing with this, if the content is resonating, and if it is helpful. By the way, this is my birthday week, and this is a birthday gift that I've given myself, that I finally started a YouTube channel. I've had varied experiences. I'd love to call myself also a career zigzagger. I was a corporate salesperson, and then I was a TV personality for almost a decade, and I was an entrepreneur for almost a decade. So I've had varied experiences, very rich, deep experiences, and I was very eager to share finally sort of a lot of summarized learnings from my own experiences so that I can help other like-minded people. So on that note, back to thought versus assumption, right? So we were talking about on the way to your manifestation, if you have these negative thoughts, sometimes we also call them intrusive thoughts. What do we do with them? And then we also say that the best way and the secret to manifestation, what law of assumption always says, is that persist in your assumption. An assumption, as we know, what is an assumption is also a thought. So your mind may consciously or subconsciously be perplexed about how do I differentiate between thought and assumption so that I can actually navigate properly and reach my desired state in the shortest and the perfect way, right? So here is what it is. See, thought is not something that you manufacture, so stop resisting it. So thought is coming from the old identity or the human character, which is a function of all your old beliefs, experiences of your past lived life, conditioning, all of that, right? So it's a summary of everything that happened. And a thought, when it appears in your mind, it's not about one particular experience. Often it's a function of so many different experiences, amalgamations, that your conscious mind cannot actually thrash it and say that I'm going to actually work on this experience and then this negative thought is going to go away. Often that's not a very practical way of doing things. So thought is your old identity. And by the way, you don't have to dread it, because it's well-meaning. It's trying to protect you. It's trying to help you survive. So the old identity, in fact, is like, it's given itself the mandate that I'm going to help her or him survive. And so it's going to really poke its nose anytime there is anything which is unfamiliar, right? So anything unfamiliar, these thoughts are going to come, and these thoughts are going to be sometimes very vicious, very negative. If you rise in your awareness more and more, and you're able to identify these thoughts that, hey, by the way, why am I thinking negatively all of a sudden? Nothing really happened. When you become more and more aware, do know that the old identity will also up its ante, and it will actually throw some of its best knocks at you. And that's good. That's all a good sign, actually. So now we know that thoughts arise on their own. You are not manufacturing them. So do not try to resist the thoughts, because we have also heard that what you resist persists, right? So you don't have to resist the thoughts. You don't have to focus on stopping those thoughts. What you have to do is rise in your consciousness or awareness. You have to sit with yourself. And so silence is very, very important. If you are always overwhelmed by the hustle bustle of your daily life and you do not have silence in your life, it's going to be that much harder. So I think the first goal that you must have to become a better and better conscious creator is find out some time for yourself, right? Go on long walks, sit with yourself early morning or late at night, journal, meditate, do all of that. Silence, because with silence, you have an opportunity to realize the real you. I am the awareness of the being. I'm the God particle, I'm the universe. Universe is all within me. It's not separate. So we're all one, right? There is no separate consciousness. Everything is happening within me. The more you sit with yourself, and which is why, we say meditation is so good, because when you sit down to meditate, you will see that all these intrusive thoughts will come at you, but be like the sky. Have you heard of this? That the best way to deal with these intrusive thoughts or negative thoughts, which are not in alignment with your desired state, is to let them just pass. Do not give them any attention and focus. And this is a key differentiation. When you start giving attention to your thoughts, then then basically you're persisting, and that's becoming an assumption. Did you catch that? Let me try to explain again. Let's say you want to manifest, a 10x jump in your income this year. Well, fantastic. That's amazing. That's abundance, which you rightly deserve. However, your bank balance is maybe zero, or you have a lot of debt. And so obviously the old identity will keep coming at you and say, hey, you think you're going to be rich, but dude, look at your bank balance. That doesn't resonate with your current identity. We're going to die. Please come back. Come back in scarcity. So if you can catch yourself, it says, oh my God, my bank balance is zero. Oh my God, how am I going to pay my rent next month? Oh my God, I am so foolish to think that I can ever be rich. I think I should diminish my expectations of myself. I think I should live a very humble life. I'm already living a humble life, but I think I should just I should just understand that I'm not made for abundance. I'm not like them. Something is wrong with me. So when you get these thoughts, if you can let them pass, which is difficult because the emotional charge to these thoughts can be high initially if you've not practiced presence and observation. But if you can, let them pass. And when you put attention, on the contrary, what it is, how does it feel when you start to put your attention on focus on these negative thoughts? Let's say one thought came that I want to be rich, but how? I can't see any other way but my bank balance is negative. What do I do? And then if you start to say, yes, rightfully so, I think I should just cut down on my meals as well. And why am I eating 3 times a day? I should just be eating like just bread. Now you're adding momentum to it. So, and if you follow Abraham Hicks, they also say that anything that catches momentum, then the momentum has to play itself out. So the more you feed your attention and focus to these thoughts, the more they will gather momentum, and the harder it will be for you to apply your brakes and come out of it. And as you keep spiraling in these negative thoughts for hours and days and weeks and months, obviously they become your assumption. And so while you say that you want to manifest abundance or a 10x jump in income, but your assumption that you're persisting in is that I don't deserve wealth. Can you see the difference? So what I'm trying to say is that thought is, so far what you've said is, it's going to come because that's your old identity and it's coming from a well-meaning place. So lovingly let it pass. You don't have to resist it. You don't have to hate it. Don't add any emotional charge to it. That is another way of saying do not put any attention or focus. Put your attention and focus to your new identity. And trust me, when you first start to put attention on this new identity, it's going to feel very odd and unfamiliar and uncomfortable. But congratulations, that's a very positive sign. Obviously, you're trying to do something new. We know this exercise, right? Like if you clasp your hands like this, see naturally, which is the thumb, which comes, so for me, it is the left thumb. Let me do it again. Again, it is the left thumb, which is on top of the right thumb. So this is natural for me. Now, the third time, what I'll try to do is just clasp with my right thumb on top of the left thumb. And this feels very, very uncomfortable. It is very uncomfortable, but is it wrong? No. So discomfort doesn't mean you go running back to your old identity, right? That is just a trick of your old identity to pull you back into safety. So you have to lovingly let it know that, hey, we are safe. And thank you so much to try to protect me, but I can allow you to, I let go of you. I allow the thoughts to pass. So that's what it is. And when you keep putting your focus or attention or emotional charge into the new identity, that assumption starts to persist. And have you heard of Neville Goddard's very famous and very popular words? An assumption, even though false, when persisted in, will harden into fact, right? So that's our North Star. That's what we're aiming for. So I hope I'm able to differentiate between what a thought is and how it's different from an assumption. So, I've also perhaps answered in a very brief way how to counter these negative thoughts. But we'll be talking about, how to really, in that moment when the momentum of the negative thoughts is very high, what are the tools and techniques that you can apply to actually minimize the effect of it and come out of this spiraling momentum sooner than later. I'm going to link that video too in the description, but I hope this made sense. A lot of these things that we say, perhaps we already know, but in my own journey, I've seen that when I've come across a coach or someone I resonated with, it just helped me come back or align with my consciousness faster. So I hope this does the same to you. I'm eager to read your comments. If this made sense, do let me know. If you have any further questions, please do put them in the comments. I'll try my best to answer all of them. Thanks for watching.